Hello, mate.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right, mate. It's all right.
Hey, dog.
No, so I had to pull you for a chat, and I was like, all right, isn't it?
Yeah, innit. Sorry, not being funny, but... Welcome back to another episode of Faywatch. I'm here with Will, for one.
Hi.
Dina, for another.
Hello.
Dina, she's nursing a wee little hangover. Let the first
Small
of us, who's never had a hangover, be the first to cast stones.
Right. No stones.
You know what I mean? Don't roll your eyes at me, Will.
I feel like it was in season 1 when we had a whole little glass houses metaphor.
Oh,
okay.
Me
cool.
with the stones in the houses.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I just think
don't throw glass in a glass house.
Right. Or stones.
Right. Speaking of our incredible chemistry that is fully on display right now, wanted to do a quick shout out to our queen of the week.
Oh my gosh.
Stand by. What the fuck is her name?
Was it Christina?
I'm pulling up the screenshot from our group text because it did make it into the group text.
Christina, 7272.
Our sweet queen, Christina, who left us such a lovely written review on iTunes, Apple, whatever we're calling it these days, and said some really wonderful things. Like, I'm not going to repeat all of them because, that would be embarrassing.
No,
for all
it's
of
like
us,
they're between us and Christina and also the public.
and the public.
Right.
But she did say it, and I will say a through line through a lot of these wonderful reviews is that the three of us, we have great chemistry.
Chemistry off the charts. They said it, not me. They said it, not me. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Right.
So,
we would never say that about ourselves.
No,
Right.
never. Oh my God.
We're just reporting. We're conveying accurately.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to break out in hives.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much, Christina, our sweet queen, for the lovely review.
Thanks, Christina.
And thank you for everyone who's been rating 5 stars. You're really always making our days and our weeks. And also, we have a little lag time between when we record and when the eps go live. So if we're really delayed in thanking you, just know your shout out is coming down the old pike. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And you know what? I do think I want to pass this little baton to Will to just take us right into this episode.
Our sweet boy boss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I predict this is going to be a chaotic episode. What with Dina's wee hangover, Rach has recently sort of discovered the chaotic energy of a bedroom stew setup, like a little bed studio. And I think it just gives her free reign.
Yeah,
for the cheek to fly.
I'm set up in my bed.
Let your cheek flag fly, as they say.
I get really cheeky when I'm in bed, I've discovered. I've got my little basil lemonade, and I'm in bed. I'm ready to really let loose.
All right. Well, this is a good episode for it. We actually have a lot of ground to cover. I think, as some people have observed, you get to a certain part of this book and stuff just really speeds up and kicks into gear. And I think we're getting there.
I think this was the point where I was like, oh, okay, so I can never stop reading until the end now. You're just getting punched in the face over and over, but we need to know what the next one's going to be.
If you're reading along, it's time for you to just strap in.
Yeah.
Hunker down, finish the book. There might be spoilers, okay, for the rest of the book.
For sure.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You already did it. We know you did it, but if you didn't, just do it.
Or you're like our Queen of the Week, Christina, and you seek out spoilers, which is...
Oh, yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
Love that chaotic energy.
Yeah, Christina in her review said she's listening to us cover the book before she reads it.
No, we're the new Spark Notes, baby. Let it be known.
Yeah, because she likes to spoil herself, which I kind of do too. So I kind of suffer from that same illness. So love you, Christina, for that.
Who among us hasn't read a full Wikipedia page of a book before reading it?
Exactly.
Me. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we jump right back in. At the end of last episode, our sweet girl boss, Bryce, had decided she was finally going to seek the medical care that she has needed for 2+ years. Not so much because her leg was hurting as that it seemed like there was a crucial plot development she could attain by extracting the Crystallos venom from her wound, but look, we're just happy she's going.
You know, I was going to be ready to judge her, and then I remembered that it absolutely took me 2 years to make a dentist appointment. So,
Yeah,
again,
true.
stones and houses.
You don't even
want
to know how long I went with going to the dentist in my 20s. It was bad. Anyway, Bryce and Hunt return to still the suspiciously nameless Medwitch's clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's extra suspicious when everyone else in this book has 3 names. And this is now the 4th time or whatever we've met this Medwitch, and she renames yet nameless.
Yeah. And also, every time she's described, it's like, so elegant, she's queenly.
Yes, yes. So they go back to the Medwitch clinic. A cute little detail is it has a wooden sign out with a broom and bell insignia on it.
We love that.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. Bryce and Hunt are kind of role-playing as a couple, which is fun. I feel like that's, I don't know if you've ever been in a kind of similar situation to this in which you get to pretend you're actually a couple, even though you know you can't be and you aren't and all that.
I feel like that's maybe
Too
that's like maybe
specific.
the subject of a different podcast and very specific to your experiences.
Well,
but we shan't say more, or we can.
No, we shan't. And
I haven't really done that.
Wait, can I ask? Can I ask,
What?
though? I actually was wondering this because the elegant, nameless Medwitch keeps calling them partners, but does she mean police law and order partners, or does she mean, like...
Law and Order.
Wait.
Got like Franklin Delano Roosevelt over here.
Does she mean police partners, or does she mean romantic partners?
I took that as romantic partners.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't
But
know.
she's
Maybe
like
both.
progressive woke, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Also, because later Bryce is like, oh, yeah, I got this tattoo for like my best friend, so we'd always be together.
Right, and assumed it was about Hunt.
And she's like, oh, that's so nice. You guys got a tattoo together, you and Hunt.
Yeah, I love the little details. They're like giving verbal consent and signing waivers and doing paperwork. Shout out to our loyal health policy wonk listeners, because it seems like there's fully digitized healthcare records in this world, which we have yet to achieve, obviously, in ours.
Wow.
It also feels like there's no mention of insurance. So I think maybe it's like Medwitch Care for All, you know?
We'll hope.
For her sake. Anyway, so we prep for surgery. The Medwitch is asking some questions, at which point, and honestly, I hadn't tracked this at all, but Hunt reveals, apparently for the first time to Bryce, that he was there the night that she got wounded.
Yeah, but she knows that he was, but she just hasn't told him that she knows that he was. And just let him think that she didn't remember.
Oh.
Did he just think she was, like, so fucked up that she didn't remember?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really understand why, but yeah.
Poor Hunt thinks he's doing this big admission, and she's just like, okay.
Yeah, he thought she was going to be, like, upset, but he's just kind of dumb. So... our girlie is brave. She only takes local anesthesia. Which I would
Gonna
fucking
be a no for
never.
me.
Yeah. So surgery happens. It's traumatic. I don't know. We don't really need to get into the details.
No. But we do need to obviously say that they kissed.
Well, yeah, obviously.
do
We're
kiss.
getting
Okay,
there.
thank you. Sorry.
Bryce is a
Yeah.
brave girl. Hunt is being a sweet boy. He's like holding her hand. He's getting very earnest, almost to the point of cringe. But maybe if you're in a lot of pain, that's sort of what you need in the moment.
I think so.
There is like, he has this moment where he's talking, he's like, yada, yada, yada. Like, I realize now that, like, from the first moment I saw you, there's someone I want guarding my back. There's a friend I'd like to have. And I gave you such a hard time because some part of me knew that I was, like, afraid of admitting it. And I was like, this feels like some fucking revisionist ass history.
I agree. I have to agree.
Honestly, I had to, like, skim it. I was like, this is too cheesy for me. It's embarrassing.
It's cheesy, but it's also, I'm like, you were just
Right.
a fucking douchebag.
Right. That's not
Yeah, it's,
true.
like, not correct.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not smart. You don't have enough brain cells to do all that.
You know what this is? This is maybe going to be a dated reference by the time this comes out, but this is some Jonah Hill ass, like,
He
using therapy
is.
speak to like,
Yeah.
cover up for your just shitty behavior.
Wow, he is on a Jonah Hill right
Wow.
now.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's rough to compare him.
It's
but-
tough for Hunt.
Okay.
I mean, I guess he is like, you know, whatever. He doesn't get points for like fucking holding her hand while she's in like all this pain.
And he does, as mentioned, call her sweetheart and then kisses her mid-surgery, mind you. Like, her leg is being carved open still. And Medwitch is like, poor Medwitch is just like, all right, they're just fucking making
she's
out.
like, I'm the third wheel, but I can't leave.
And like, I have to concentrate on getting the deadly poison out of you. I guess there's only one. I don't know what the second one was that I had, but
it's a good point.
You know what, though? This reminds me of when I got something removed from my leg and I got local anesthesia and they gave me a bunch of Xanax. And then the surgeon who did it was really, really hot. And they tried to do it with me facing forward. I had like the paper thing on that only covers one side of you. And so I had it facing forward, but then he couldn't get to my leg. And so then I had to turn over full backside out. But then that also didn't really work. So then I had to kind of lay on my side, kind of leaning with like one leg and this really hot surgeon. And like, I kept trying to like look at him and wink apparently. And he just kept being like, don't look over here. And there's just blood everywhere. And he was straddling my leg. Anyway, so I've been in this position.
You
I get it. You can be fully bleeding out on a table and still want to make out with someone.
Okay, I
confirm.
love that. That's great to know.
But to be clear, it wasn't venom that I was getting removed.
Right.
Not as cool.
Not as cool. At this point, I feel like we kind of know where this is going. But I will just say that during the kiss, quote, a star bloomed inside Bryce at that kiss. A long, slumbering light began to fill her chest, her veins. Ahem. So the poison comes out. Medwitch does some magic to make it into an antidote. She's going to work on it further so it's ready for mass distribution or something. They get home, ready to cuddle up, when dun-dun, Micah calls.
Ugh, never good.
Demanding Bryce and Hunt's presence. Certainly Hunt from the get-go knows shit is about to go down. They fly to the offices and it's like super hot. It's like you go to the principal's. I actually never went to the principal's office because I was like too good of a boy. But in theory.
But if you could imagine.
Right. So they get to the office. Unsurprisingly, Sabine and Amelie are there, as are Micah, Isaiah, and Victoria. And it becomes readily apparent this is about Hunt's little outburst at the bar. Amelie's looking somewhat sheepish.
Well, yeah. Hello. Sorry. What are you going to go fucking narc to the teacher about your classmate bullying you on the playground? Amelie, grow the fuck up.
I'm glad you brought this up because that was my first instinct to it. However, I was like, okay, this is schoolyard bullying. Do we need to involve the governor? But then I remember two things. One, the book does say that Amelie was being flayed from the inside out or something, which is pretty brutal.
Maybe she deserved it.
Just again, to just kind of put everything out there. That was her punishment for sending a mean message on some croissants. Just to offer some perspective.
She was also really mean at the den.
Wow. How dare you, Will? She's like, how dare you? Amelie apologized.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
Whose side are you even on?
I believe in justice. That's all.
Wow.
And then two, I feel like it's not so much about precisely what happened than the fact that Hunt is enslaved.
Yeah, I think that's actually
and Amelie
what it
is free.
Yeah.
And, that's a classic thing in societies with strict hierarchies and slavery system. You have to like crack down at any little outburst. And that's sort of what Sabine goes on. She's like, this cannot stand, blah, blah, blah. She threatens to go public, especially to go to Sandriel, which Micah just can't have. The punishment normally for assaulting a free citizen, apparently, is death.
Oof.
Micah, kind of interesting. Micah takes that as more of like a guideline punishment, and he imposes something called the, quote, living death, which is an angel punishment, and it means your wings get cut off.
Ugh.
Which sounds terrible.
It sounds horrible.
So Bryce is also freaking out. Victoria is holding her and explaining that they'll grow back in several weeks. So it's super painful, but it's one, not death, and two, not even permanent anti-flying.
I do love that the penis regrowth conversation comes back around as actually helpful world building in this moment.
Yeah, it was crucial.
It was.
So that happens. Then Bryce and Sabine get into it. And in the process, Sabine reveals that she just checked in with the Underking, who's the Grim Reaper or whatever, last winter and learned a fun fact. Apparently, Bryce had exchanged her chance at getting into the afterlife, basically, for a guarantee that Danica would make the crossing.
Ugh.
But yeah, so Bryce then sort of internally recounts how she had stolen a coin, been granted an audience with the Underking, who, despite his name, I will say, seems to be a kind of non-binary death monarch, because their voice is male, female, old, young. It's all things in one.
It's like, is it creepy? Is it hot? Is it both? Who knows?
It's also kind of funny because the Underking is doing this thing like testing Bryce's commitment to this deal. And he's letting her know that so far she's on track to get in, which is, it's just like good to know you can sort of get an update on that if you want.
If you like steal an ancient stone and cross the river.
Yeah.
Like if you keep at it,
you're probably going to make it. Yeah. You're doing good things. And it would be kind of nice to know her sort of life of living large is no impediment to ghost immortality. Hunt and Bryce go home, and the main takeaway as Hunt is slipping in and out of consciousness is that Bryce's outburst during his de-winging, Hunt realizes now everyone knows how close they are, and that's a potential vulnerability.
Well,
and danger.
I think him flaying Amelie from the inside out in front of 100 people
it's sort of like
probably.
A collective.
people are putting a couple, a couple twos together. Yeah.
A couple very public twos, very obvious twos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do like that Bryce finally reaches out to Ethan years later, not to say sorry, but to be like, I'm going to fucking kill
fuck
all
off.
of you.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Nothing.
Yeah, he purported to have no knowledge of Crescent Gate, but, he chose a side.
He's her second. Get your head in the game, bro,
Get your head in the game, Ethan. Weirdly, this is all sort of like Bryce sort of has a new lease on life, despite this kind of bad little situation with Hunt's wings. She's like springing into action. She starts sending out new job applications. She kind of crosses an important line and proactively asks Rune for help caring for Hunt.
Yeah.
Which is like a nice little sibling bond development.
Oh, and also like cute because then Rune comes over and he's taking care of wee Hunt. And I shouldn't do a baby voice. I shouldn't do my like pet, my dog. No, it's scary. Whenever I have to listen to it myself, I like throw myself against a wall. No, and then Rune is tending to wee Hunt after we started with them being all alcohol dumb with each other.
And we didn't get, sorry to offer a critique, Sarah, but we didn't really get enough of that. Just them two in a room, like a little
tenderly
banter.
No,
like,
right. Hunt is shirtless. Rune does have to tell him to like sit still while he applies whatever pain serum or something.
Yeah.
Who among us wouldn't want that scene? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was alluded to, but not actually given to us. Anyway. So Bryce also makes some progress on the mystery because she realizes that the password to get into Danica's database at the Redner Industries, which is the company that made the synth. I forget if we covered that. But
Redner.
Yeah. Anyway, basically, Danica something database clues, couldn't figure out the password. It turns out, the password is the phrase on her tattoo / the back of the jacket.
I was so sad when the password wasn't Sabine sucks.
Okay, but also iconic thing before that, which Bryce is like, I just know Redner Industries would have told Danica that she needs to do like a random series of numbers and letters for her password. And I just know that Danica hates being told what to do. So she like wouldn't have done that. And I just love the idea of being like, the IT department is trying to tell me what to do. And I'm not gonna do it.
I live my own life.
As if the rest of the world has various numbers and letters for passwords and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a unique thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
Bless.
Danica was young.
No, but this is capital D detective work. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like, she's in Danica's psyche. She's in the Redner Industries login site. She's not asking Declan, hey, you're a hacker. Do you want to help me with this?
Can you just do this? Yeah.
Right. We're also suspending disbelief that you don't get frozen out after you try
like a million
times.
things.
Right.
Yeah, totally. And so she's looking through the database and there's a party invites folder and she's like, okay, Danica doesn't keep party invites. What's in here? I will say this is a similar strategy to how I used to hide sinful videos on my computer as a youngling.
Oh my God. What was the folder name?
I don't remember, honestly, but it was in the documents, and it was like, yeah, it was supposed to be really unsuspicious. I'm sure it was so suspicious.
Not porn. PDF.
Math homework.
Math's homework. So hidden in the party invites folder is a photo of the jacket. And so Bryce kind of feels around the actual jacket and finds like a little bump, which she cuts out. And it turns out it's like a wee flash drive, like a small little flash drive, basically.
I just want to be clear that if one of you got murdered suspiciously, I would absolutely go through your computer to find clues.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But like 3 years later or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. We get a kind of corporations are evil everywhere thing because she opens the videos on the thumb drive for a convalescing Hunt. And what we see is human subjects receiving the synth, which turns them into even more like superhuman, but beyond even the power of veneer. And they just put some veneer prisoners into a room and they get torn apart and shredded.
Real zombie vibes.
Real zombie vibes. It's exactly how the pack was killed. She's telling all this to Hunt, and we'll get back to this in a bit. But I'll just note briefly that Hunt is kind of hesitant and choosing his words carefully. But they sort of kind of get off track and things start heating up as they talk about the kiss in the Medwitch clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the hot and steamy part of this episode. And I will say, the listeners from last season will know, I think this is rule number 1, right?
It is.
Rule number 1.
It complies with the rule.
Yeah.
Ladies get theirs first.
Yeah.
And
in a non-penetrative, well,
penile.
No, I think it's like
manner.
rule 1 is lesbian sex first, you know?
Yes. Yeah, we could put it. Yeah, we
Right.
could
In those
call it-
terms.
yeah, we
Just
could say
with
that.
a man.
Right.
Yeah,
like there is
exactly.
unfortunately a man involved, but
Right.
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit.
Okay.
They talk about the kiss in the Medwitch clinic, and Bryce is like, "Do you remember? Would you do it again or something?" And
it's so high school.
yeah, and Hunt is like, "Yeah, like should I kiss you again?" And Bryce is like, "I want to do it." Like she wants to kiss him.
Well, and that's after it's like, did you mean it? Did you want me to mean it? And it's like, okay, cool. Are we all just going to keep asking questions back and forth and never answer any
Yes.
Great.
And he's like, do your worst, Quinlan. And like Siri sees where this is going, and he sees himself into his little crate.
I love that.
He's like, I refuse to be here for this.
He's like, I'm going to give these adults some time. She's doing the whole like, this wasn't meant to happen. And he goes, and this is breaking news on Swear Watch, quote, "Thank fucking Erd it did," which I think is our first Erd curse actually in the book, and completes the pantheon of god curses. As far as I'm aware. So,
And who is Erd again?
a god.
Okay, but we don't know
Erd,
what.
Like
I
Earth?
think is sort
he
of
like Earth god.
That's what I was thinking.
I feel like he's kind of fate. He's sort of fate.
Oh, cute.
Because Chthona is Earth. I think
Oh.
Erd is sort of the all-purpose sort of fate.
God.
Maybe.
Okay.
Something
Okay, well,
like
that's a cute one to reference.
He does get invoked again soon.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I know it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. They quote haul their lips together, which is not a verb I've ever seen used in this context before. So I kind of appreciated the experimentation there. It didn't really get me going per se, but we have to try new things.
Yeah, it actually kind of invoked because it says, I forget what it is
Like
exactly.
he
but she
hauled
like
or she hauled.
She
Yeah.
hauled because she's doing the instigating
Right.
here, right? But she put her hand on his neck and then hauled his lips towards her,
Yeah.
whatever. Which is actually sort of reminding me of some of the more unfortunate kisses I've seen on this series of Love Island that's currently on, where they'll just like
no.
yoink the other person's.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
hauling.
no. And then your nose is bonk, and you have to be like, sorry.
Yeah, but no, this was really hot.
Yeah.
We know it. We know it to be true. Okay.
And we know that it's hot because, and here we kind of get back to some staples of the genre. Bryce, quote,
yeah.
erupts at the kiss. She, quote, unleashed herself. His
Yes.
tongue is tasting her in savage, unrelenting strokes.
Well, yeah, but
On
you
the
know what
mouth.
else we got? Excuse me, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what else we get?
What?
Which is top 5 most frequently used phrases by SJM. is like she opened for him and his tongue sweeps in.
Oh, the tongue is always sweeping in. What is it about the tongue and the sweeping?
Which, again, if we haven't cut out previous references to the fact that I'm not a huge fan of Frenching, and maybe we'll cut it out again. But like, if we have, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of French kissing, and to me, the idea of a tongue sweeping in is a lot.
No, it sounds like a lot.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Sweeping in?
Maybe this is like from my literal sweeping when I've swept. It's like you want to get it all. So in my mind, it's like you have to cover every part of the inside surface area of the mouth if you're going to properly sweep it with your tongue.
Yeah. SJM is huge on this.
And then you're like, how are we breathing? This doesn't sound fun. What's happening? Wait, I also died that it was no tentative sweet kisses. Not for them. Never for them. It's like, bitch, you guys were literally just talking about like a tentative sweet kiss you shared, and that's why you're now fucking making out. Like, what?
Yeah. But like, okay, sure.
Sure. But yeah,
totally. No, I clocked that as well. I was like, okay, whatever, fine. You're
we all tell ourselves
you're
stories.
in a moment.
Be in your moment. Be in your narrative. We support you.
He tastes obviously like rain, cedar, salt, and pure lightning.
I mean, don't they always?
As opposed to that dank spoiled lightning that you sometimes get. Okay, so here we go. So she's like, I want all of it. And which another like
classic move when
so
someone's
classic.
like tell me what you want, and like you actually don't want to come up with something. And so you're just like all of it,
everything,
whatever.
Like, don't make me literally like just whatever, just
everything.
Just like don't make me decide. Decisions are hard. Okay, all of it.
She slid her hand down his front to his pants. Hard.
Oh my god, our favorite words.
Considerable length. Straining against them.
It's considerable. Wow. It's straining. Check, baby.
Spare her.
Spare her. Yep.
Oh, love
that.
And
then she palmed his dick, and he hisses. And then she's like, all of it, Athalar.
Definitely skipped past the hiss. We know how I feel about trying to imagine what a hiss sounds like.
Yeah.
Our boy is obviously, he's like an artful bra unhooker.
Of course.
So like unhooks that bra. She like straddles him. They're like grinding on his beautiful, perfect hardness.
Wow.
Her dress is
that
like,
a direct quote? Wow.
Yeah, it is. Her dress is like around her waist, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I did appreciate that accurate detail. Like the dress would like look kind of awkward at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, maybe it's like it's like schoolgirl hot. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
No, don't bring schoolgirls into it.
I thought that's like what boys liked. I don't know.
No, we're gonna cut that out.
Okay, so here's where we kind of really get to the
crux of it.
The crux of it all.
The grist, the juice.
The finger of it all, shall we say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really kind of going to town and then asks, do you taste as good as you feel? And she says, quote, please find out immediately.
Yeah.
That was like a honestly perfect response.
But also like enough of this fucking fingering. Jeez.
Okay, but then that doesn't actually happen. Right. Which admittedly it would have required, I think, a lot of rearranging.
Yeah. It felt like they were like in a good spot, you know?
Yeah. And also is maybe sort of realistic, in which I feel like people often like say they're gonna do a lot of things and then they just like don't really get around to it, you know?
No, right.
Yeah, your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Right, totally.
You know?
And then they're doing this like what are you gonna do to me? I'm gonna do everything to you. At one point he says he hasn't forgotten about, quote, this particular asset, and it's her ass.
Oh, this was so cheesy. I could not even.
Her perfect ass.
It's her perfect ass. He's gonna do like filthy things or whatever.
He's like, I got plans.
Yeah,
and it's like
for this, but
it's like, honestly, I don't want to know. You know what I mean?
I kind of like
leave
it.
me out of it.
Wow, you didn't do it for you, Dina. Okay.
Well, okay, and here we got the consummation of rule 1. They have this kind of dirty little mouth convo.
Dirty little mouth convo.
And that sort of like she's like grinding up on him, and our girl gets her nut.
Yeah.
She does. As she
explodes
should.
into starlight, obviously. Like, we
Yep.
get it. We get it.
We get it.
And then the best part, obviously, is she kind of comes back to Earth only to realize she had been rocking him so hard on the couch that the wounds from his wings burst open, and he's just like bleeding everywhere.
Get it, girl.
You know what? Some men say they put women first, but Hunt proved it. He is bleeding out on the couch. And he was like, you are coming first, even if I end up in the hospital.
Well, and he was down to keep going. He was like, I'm fine. Let's keep it up. And she's like, I'm not having sex with you and your gaping wounds.
Oh, man.
So the foreplay kind of ends there. They call him Medwitch. And she's basically like, let's maybe not sex until you can fly.
And I hope you all enjoyed that, because that's the only completion you're getting in this book. Spoiler alert.
Dude, I was like, I got to the end of the book and I was like, wait, what?
Sorry,
What? Sorry. Did I skip a chapter?
Miss a chapter? Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I guess I didn't really piece that together.
This really caused shockwaves, I believe, in the SJM community, because this was the first book that she wrote that was adult. And so everyone was like, all right, well,
They're gonna,
it's on.
Yeah.
I do
Turns
think,
out-
though, I don't know, maybe this is only my opinion, but I find that these scenes, the first ones, are better
Way
than the,
Agree.
for sure, hotter than like,
Totally.
Oh, yeah, it's the cave scene. It's,
Yeah.
Shout out
Right.
season 1.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the first one's, yeah, it's better.
right.
The build-up is better.
It's like
the
ACOTAR chapters
nuzzling.
42 and 48. If you know, you know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Because like there's only, I mean, we've discussed this before. There's only like we get it. They have sex all night long, and it's
Right.
amazing.
Right.
There's only
It's
like
the best
so
they've
much
ever
one can
had.
use the word thrust, you know?
Right.
Right.
Pistoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Sheathing.
Exactly.
Unsheathing and resheathing. Yeah, totally. After our little treat, after our Bryce's little treat, Hunt goes to bed, and for whatever kind of gunner reason, our girly decides that she needs to make some progress at 3 a.m. in the morning. So she emails her old landlord to ask permission to go check out her and Danica's old apartment. So she goes out, again at 3 a.m., mind you, to check the building. And when she gets there, the building is on fire. And she's like, oh, fuck. I guess to Rachel's point earlier, someone is monitoring Danica's old database email situation.
Right, duh.
Mind you, quite unclear what precise evidence she was looking for 3 years later at the
Right.
crime scene, but that's fine. On her way back home, fuckboy King Therian texts her.
Oh, we love.
Therian texts her that a deal is going down on the river right now. And if she comes to the dock in the next like 5 or 10 minutes, he can get her there. I think in my little fun imagination, Therian is one genuinely telling her there's a deal, but he's not texting her at 4 a.m. just for no reason. I think he's like, all right, maybe we'll go check out this deal, and then you know,
who knows
it'll be
what can
5
happen
a.m.,
after?
like,
Yeah,
something might happen.
Maybe we'll get a
like-
slice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah. His wheels are turning. He's always just kind of in a non-problematic way, keeping his eye out for opportunity.
No, I love that about him. And then he fucking shows up on a matte black wave runner. Mm-hmm. Who among us doesn't want to go on a little jet ski ride with a hot merman?
Well, me, but
Oh, really?
the hot merman part sounds great. She's holding his bare waist, but I've been on a jet ski once and it was so uncomfortable and just not really my vibe.
It's not for you.
No, you were built for a softer life, as discussed.
And jet skis.
Yeah.
Even a life of idle leisure is a little
Too
too
much.
hard for me. She, though, it seems Bryce is in a similar position because she starts regretting agreeing to get on the back of the wave skimmer or whatever. But they cut the engine as they approach this small barge, which is idling in the river. And they see that it's the Vipe Queen doing a deal.
The Vipe, that little liar.
Right. So they scoot up close, and Bryce is taking out her phone to get some photographic evidence for, you know, whatever justice system is going to kind of handle this. When one of the buyers turns and, oops, it's Hunt.
Oops.
Dun dun.
Oopsie. Wait, can I ask you guys a question? I've been dying to ask you this. I obviously really look for clues, and I definitely missed all the ones about Hunt being kind of weird and going off texting people, hesitating and all this stuff. But regardless, when I first read this and it was him, I thought it was some kind of a joke or a dream or something. Like, I really didn't believe that it was, it really made no sense to me, to the point where I was like, oh, this isn't a satisfying big reveal. This is like, wait, I literally don't understand why he's doing this based on everything that I know. And then I read it back and I caught some of the things where he was being shady. But I feel like my position is still that it wasn't enough to be super believable for me.
Right. So I think the things you're referring to is when he's seeing the videos, he's choosing his words carefully.
Right.
At which he'd sort of, as soon as Synth entered the picture, he'd sort of been acting a little sketchy and being a little, well, we're not sure, whatever. I think it's most fucked up when you think about, which I skipped over deliberately, but how little Rule 1 manifested, how they got there.
Yeah.
Was being pretty manipulative. He convinced her to get off the subject of chasing the Synth by saying, you know, if we get something wrong again, I'll be killed this time.
Right.
And then that would ruin their chance at a happy ever after, basically, which then leads to the kiss and leads to the sex.
Yeah, and that's the second time he did it, because remember when her parents' phone call thing and she wanted to go ask the Viper Queen about Synth, and he was like, no, my parents are dead. You don't know how lucky you are to have. Like, that was also really manipulative.
Was he already scheming at that point?
I do think that was like 3 days ago for them. So probably.
Which is about the timeline.
But yeah, but then okay, he was saying all this stuff to Bryce. He was, I guess, apparently, we can talk about this, genuinely falling for her and wanting a future with her. Why would you go do something that's for sure going to get you killed?
I sort of agree that I just don't really get the motive.
Yeah.
There wasn't a part of Hunt as, and I mean, we'll get to this in a sec, as he's still so committed to the rebel, whatever. If anything you get, it was hopeless. We were so foolish. What were we thinking?
Right. Like, I just want to get out of this bargain. If I can do this, I have 10 kills. They made that motivation very clear that he was trying to get out of it.
And I guess we'll continue with the conversation, but just because we haven't explicitly said it, for our girl queens like Christina who are listening before they read the book. So she sees it's Hunt, and then shit either hits the fan and or orders maintained, kind of depending on your view of politics. But basically, Victoria and Justinian emerge from the darkness. They are the other buyers of the synth with Hunt. As Bryce starts being like, what the fuck is going on? Micah, Isaiah, and the SWAT team of angels arrive basically to arrest Hunt et al.
It was a setup.
A sting operation.
The Vipe Queen is a sneaky girly. It was a sting operation. They had become interested in the synth as a weapon to rebel against the Asteri. Hunt will claim that this was all before he saw the videos about the side effects. And he just thought it would make the veneer powerful enough to kind of break free.
Yeah, the three of you. Totally. Good plan, bro. Anyway, sorry.
Right.
Oh, and my favorite part when hot assassin Fury in her little black leather suit just pops up from behind.
Okay, she pops up. There's so many little details.
How big is this boat? Unclear.
Right. Well, it's a barge, I guess, so it's kind of big. We learn that like Micah found out about this because Justinian tried to recruit some girl.
Ugh, God,
some
Justinian.
Random girl into the rebellion. And obviously, I don't know, we've barely met Justinian. If you've forgotten who he is, you're totally in the clear.
Yeah.
He's other Triarii angel that's kind of similar situation was like rebelled.
Always kind of gave me younger brother vibes.
One detail I really liked was that Therian is gripping Bryce around the waist the whole time.
Honestly, it's so cute.
It's so cute. And I was like, I think in his mind, he's like, are we nearing a recoupling?
Right.
He's just sort of,
no, this is some post Casa Amor shit going down.
Yeah. He's positioning himself to be there to help pick up the pieces. Mm-hmm. He's playing his cards fucking right.
Yeah, good job there, Jan.
On top of the betrayal, obviously, they've been chasing the synth, and Hunt knew about it for some time. Apparently, Michael reveals that Hunt also had figured out that Danica had been selling synth.
Supposedly,
and that she was also an addict.
Which, by the way, we get a worse version of this later on, but I do love that this is supposed to be a really intense arrest moment, and yet everybody's explaining everything that went down in detail.
Yeah, like Bond
while we're all
style.
Standing there with guns pointed at each other.
Yeah, it's like no one read the Miranda rights. Yeah, Hunt's sort of just confessing to everything. But he's distraught, you can tell. And he is trying to be gentle in some of his revelations, it seems, to Bryce. One of them being that he thinks what clearly happened was that Danica was the one who consumed the synth, killed the rest of the pack, and then killed herself.
This also annoys me because if you listened to Bryce and believed her about Danica, you wouldn't have immediately come to that easier conclusion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The horn still remains kind of unclear, according to this theory.
Right. How does it
She
fit
stole
in?
it sort of just to steal it. But Micah reveals that the Crystallos emerge as a side effect of using the drug in high doses because there's black salt, something about the right fucking demon phone number or whatever, you know?
I really laughed at that.
Who can say?
Who can say? And yes, then Hunt is apologizing and trying to take a step towards her when Fury just steps out. And actually, like, the way apparently that Bryce knows it's Fury is she recognizes the gun barrel, the fucking insignia on the gun barrel.
So hot.
So hot. She's in like a little skin tight black suit. I assume it's like really sharp.
Yeah, for sure.
Sharp bob.
So sharp.
Yeah, it's a sharp bob.
Can you just like blink twice if we get a lot more Fury in the next book?
I have no memory, to be honest.
You get some.
I think we get more than this. This is not that much Fury.
Yeah.
And like Fury's protective bae. She's like, get the fuck out to the Vipe Queen, who then does.
Notably.
Yeah.
Vipe Queen, who doesn't take shit from anyone, takes shit from Fury Axtar. Hunt is spluttering. He's like, I came to stop the deal after I saw the videos, but you can tell he's cooked. She takes, and I'd completely forgotten about this, he had bought her a stone at the little market bazaar.
Yeah.
And when he did so, he had thought to himself, oh, if I'd bought this for Shahar, she would have appreciated it, but then immediately forgotten about it because she's Archangel, has a million of these things. But this was in Bryce's pocket, so she's clearly been just carrying it around in her pocket the whole time. And she like throws it at his head.
Hunt was coming so close to not being dumb, but this was so dumb.
Yeah, this is really dumb.
Deceptive.
Yeah, hard maybe to forgive him for us.
Yeah.
TBD on how that goes in the future.
I know. We'll talk about that when we get there, but I'm like, should he have maybe been in the doghouse for longer? Who knows?
Yeah. We have to get maybe to the end of the book at some point. So they all get arrested. Isaiah, notably, not in on the little rebellion.
Damn. Do you think he kind of has FOMO?
I think he's probably feeling pretty good about his life choices at the moment.
Yeah.
He's probably like, these fucking idiots. This is the
Yeah.
thing. I assume they didn't really go to him because they're like, he's kind of in the pocket of Micah too much. But they needed a kind of type A gay.
Right. This plan is not going to work, you fucking
Right.
idiots.
I mean, they sort of maybe like looped him in. Things would have gone
Like,
differently.
it just feels like if you're gonna overtake the Asteri or whatever, you probably should be planning it for a fucking decade, not 1.5 minutes.
They're dumb. Everyone sort of parts ways. Bryce, Fury, and Therian get on their wave skimmers. Hunt is yelling her name into the darkness.
Well, that's what he fucking gets.
That's what he gets. Bryce gets home. Alpha Beta Fae is there. Fury had called them in.
Oh.
And we end on the kind of grim discussion that Rune and Fury have in another room in the apartment, but that Bryce can overhear.
Oof.
Which details the punishment for the rebels. Justinian has been publicly crucified and they've stopped him healing or whatever, and he'll just kind of slowly bleed out in public. Terrible, obviously.
Worse.
Victoria, probably worse. She has been taken from her body and put in a glass box, which for now is resting at the bottom of the crucifix, so that Justinian will sort of bleed to death on top of her. And then apparently she's going to be thrown into the Mariner's Trench.
You just said that like Marinera's trench.
Yeah.
How do you say it? How do you say it?
Like Mariners?
Mariner's Trench?
I think it's Melano, guys.
Oh, but the one in our world.
Oh. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh, the Mariana Trench?
Mariana Trench. Thank
Sorry,
you.
Serena. Obviously, we're actively, like, intentionally dumbing it down.
Yeah, our bad, Serena.
No, I
The
definitely know
Marinara
what the
Trench.
Marinara Trench is.
Comes with some mott sticks. Anyway,
No, I do want some right now that you say that.
she's gonna be like thrown to the bottom of like a pit in the ocean to like go insane in isolation.
For eternity.
And this might be too soon, but I was like, you can only hope that the people who made the glass box are the ones who made that submarine, so that it just like sort of mercifully
Wow.
implodes.
Wow. Definitely too soon, but also fair.
And, you know, on that note, we are left in suspense at the end of this chapter as to what Hunt's punishment will be. but it doesn't seem like it will be good.
Right. It doesn't seem like he's going to get a couple of days of detention.
Wow.
Great. Okay. Well, things have gone downhill.
They went uphill briefly, and then they went
did.
downhill.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, say hello on TikTok and Instagram. Shoot us an email. Be like Christina. Write us a review. Tell a friend.
Tell an enemy.
Tell an enemy.
Like
Yeah.
noted enemy of the pod, Serena.
Yeah. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.